Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome friends to another broadcast. How is everyone? Inshallah everyone is doing well. One of the greatest blessings of Allah is the blessing of children. To be a parent is one of the greatest responsibilities other than our Islam that we will ever have. We as parents, we love our children and we try to do the best we can for them. But what do you do when your child reaches the teenage stage, which is usually around the age of 13 and up, and they get to a place where they don't want to go to the masjid and they don't want to pray? This can be a very disheartening thing for a parent, that their child does not want to go to the masjid and their child doesn't want to pray. As parents, we should never, ever get discouraged by that. But we have to remember we are the parent and we have to be the example for our children. Of course, the worst thing we could do is not correct them. As parents, it is our responsibility that when our little boy or our little girl is doing wrong, we have to correct them and let them know, beloved son or beloved daughter, this is wrong, you're not going to the masjid. This is wrong, you're not praying to Allah. We need to let them know why it's wrong and what the consequences of neglecting going to the masjid and prayer, what the consequences of neglecting them are. We need to help our children to appreciate that the most important relationship in their life, other than mom and dad, is their relationship with their Creator, Allah. As parents, we have to be the example. Our children, they feed off of us, what we're doing. When they see parents that are happy going to the masjid and parents that are happy praying, they want to do the same thing. And I know it's hard. There's a lot of parents out there struggling. They've got to work. Some are going through divorce. And all of that affects the child. And sometimes even the child, they're like, well, my parents couldn't stay together. What's the point in me praying? What's the point in me going to the masjid? My family is falling apart. God doesn't care about me. He's letting my mom and my dad get divorced. But then again, that's where we as the parent, we have to come in and we have to let our children know that no matter what is going on in our life, that we love them. If mom and dad are getting divorced, they need to know that this is not Allah's fault. These are just things that happen in life. People grow apart. People can change. But that doesn't change the fact that mom and dad will always be there for them and love them. And sometimes for some families this is the best thing. But again, that their relationship with Allah is very important. And they need to be in the masjid and they need to be praying. And sometimes, it can get frustrating for parents and they start to yell. And they start to threaten, oh, if you don't do this, if you don't go to the masjid and you don't pray, I'm going to smack you on into the next time zone. Cannot be that way with our kids, but we want to always be loving and caring because we want them to come to us with whatever is bothering them, whatever issue they have. They need to feel at ease with us, that they can approach us and that they can talk to us. We never want them to feel shut out. Because if they don't come to us, who are they going to be able to go to? And if they do go to someone, who's going to love them more than mom and dad? So we need to let them know that we are there for them and we love them. And we're not going to judge them. And we're not going to be harsh with them. But to always discipline in love. Son, you are wrong by not going to the masjid. And they may not listen when you tell them that. Son, it is wrong if you do not pray. They may not listen. But be sure that as time goes on, they will remember because of the way you acted and the way you treated them. Because most people get to a place where they think there's no turning them around. But Allah is the one that knows the heart. That's why you as the parent, we as parents, we need to go to Allah and pray ourselves and say, oh Allah, lift this situation. Lift it. I put my son or my daughter in your care. I have done what I can and I will continue to do what I can. But I leave them in your care. You do with them as you see best. Please correct them. Help me to correct them. We don't want to lose our children. And believe me, the less that they go to the masjid and the more prayers that they miss out on, their relationship with Allah gets farther and farther away. And we don't want that for our children. We want them to know that we love them and that Allah loves them and that we want what is best for them. And to see their relationship with Allah as something precious. The same way that when they come and they talk to us, we have joy. The same way is that when they talk to Allah, it brings Him joy to see the youth that they are taking the time to approach their Creator, to prostrate, to put their head on the ground and pray to their Creator. And when they're at the masjid, that they can be a source of encouragement to others, and that they can learn and they can benefit. Because when you're at the masjid, it's all about community, being together, and we need that. As Muslims, we need a strong sense of community. So again, if you're having trouble with your son or daughter that they don't want to go to the masjid and they don't want to pray, you need to let them know, son, this is wrong. And let me tell you why this is wrong. We, the parents, have that responsibility. And we need to move into action. We can't just think, oh, this is going to fix on its own, because it doesn't. You have to do your part as a parent. And you have to go to Allah and ask Allah for help also. Because our kids are not at a stage where they always know what is best for them. So we as the parents, we have to be there for our children. And I can tell you, anger and yelling and frustration does not solve anything. It just makes situations worse. So when you're dealing with your kids, you have to be the example, and you have to be rational, and you have to be calm and listen to them, because most of the time they need someone to listen to them. I can't begin to tell you how many young people I've talked to and they say, I can't talk to my mom and dad. Mom and dad don't want to listen to me. Because some parents really have this mentality that kids should be seen and not heard. We should never want to develop that kind of thinking. Again, we want our kids to feel comfortable and at ease coming to us, to talk to us about anything. And if there is an issue with prayer, if there is an issue with wanting to go to the masjid, we want to help them to solve that issue. And inshallah, Allah make it easy for us. But may we always, the same way we are teaching our children to approach Allah with every problem and situation in their life, we need to do the same thing. We need to approach Allah with every problem and situation in our life and ask Allah's guidance, His direction, to give us patience and to make it easy for us when we are trying to correct our children. And at the end of the day, we leave it in Allah's care. But that doesn't mean we stop. We never stop when it comes to our children, because we want them to be healthy in their faith. May we be the best of examples for them. May our children always have a close and loving relationship with their Creator Allah, and may they have a love for the masjid. Inshallah, until we meet again, beloved brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.